Pearson Live. This is our first ever Drew Pearson Live Cowboys Draft Special. We got our great panel. We appreciate you all being here. There's Doc, there's Brady, there's Matt and Larry, and we're breaking down the Cowboys draft. And we left off, we were talking about running backs, you know, and everybody's kind of a little surprised. You mentioned Jay Ajayi being there, and the Cowboys were interested in that. But were you surprised that they didn't draft a running back at all?
You asking me?
Yes, Brady.
Not really. Not really. It just didn't fall the way they wanted it to fall. And Ajayi was one of their guys. And they liked him maybe in the 3rd or 4th round. Then he got the knee injury, and so they pushed him back. And when they were going to draft him in the 5th round. But overall, I think they're still stuck on Adrian Peterson, Drew. I really do. I think, and it's going to be really hard to get him. But they're out of the conversation a little bit since the draft started. They're going to do everything they can do to get Adrian Peterson. Jerry, this is his year, this year and next. But it will cost them a first plus some more. Because Minnesota doesn't want to trade Adrian Peterson to this franchise. They'd rather trade him anywhere else but to Jerry Jones and the team that also pulled the Herschel Walker on him, right? They still haven't lived that down. They have not lived that down. So, no, I'm not shocked. They're arrogant about this offensive line and their ability to let you and me run through it. And
I heard the other day that if Travis Frederick snapped the ball to himself, he could average 4 yards a carry with that offensive line.
Well, I know you have the stats. How many? I mean, DeMarco ran without getting hit more times and farther than anybody in the NFL, right? And again, not taking anything away from DeMarco.
That's Well, absolutely. I mean, that line was truly remarkable. It harkens back to the '90s when they had that unbelievable line, and you know he's a between the tackle runner, and that's exactly what he did. So you know what I love the fact that they got McFadden. And I realize there's some potential there for injury, I understand. But look, at the end of the day, McFadden has never had a very good offensive line to run behind, certainly not one of this caliber. So I'm excited to see what he does with this line. I'm really stoked. I think Lance Dunbar, too. You know, Lance Dunbar is a guy that I think he does great things. When he has that ball and he can get out in space, he does some great things.
He looks to me like he's going to fumble every time.
He's a specialist.
Every time he's got the ball, I think he's going to fumble.
Let me ask the specialist, Larry, what do you think of Lance Dunbar? You know, I mean, you're still...
I think he came on strong. He showed flashes of greatness last year. You know, again, running behind a great offensive line. So, you know, what will he do if he has to work for some yards? You know, I think.
Well, you think the Cowboys were okay with not drafting anybody? You think they're okay with what they have there? And don't even worry about Adrian Peterson. If that happens, that's just a bonus. But so far, they're going into camp into next season with these 3 guys as their lead backs.
Well, we mentioned during the show the diminished value of running backs in the league these days, right? That being said, there's a second chance for the Cowboys to possibly pick up a great running back. Once the numbers get trimmed down, the rosters get trimmed down, I'm sure there'll be some pretty good finds out there available.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. Now we got that covered, and we figured that out. What about the upcoming season? I mean, they finished 12-4. They won the NFC East. They won a playoff game, lost a heartbreaker to Green Bay. Think they could build on that and keep it rolling? This is their window. This is their opportunity. They got to take advantage of it. Doc, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I kind of expect a lot of what we saw last year. I kind of expect a lot of the same things we saw. I think they're going to come out strong with the running game. I think they're going to pass when they need to and not have to rely on Romo as much as they did in the past. Not ask him to basically carry the team. You know, the question is who is going to be the running back? I mean, is it going to be, you know, can McFadden carry it? Can McFadden carry the load? Like I said before, I'm excited to actually see him run with this offense and see what he could do. I mean, this guy was a top 10 pick when he was, you know, back in the day when he was drafted. So I'm excited to see what he might be able to do. I think the defense, you know, look, we kept the defense off the field. We kept the defense fresh last year, but, you know, we know a lot of the stuff that went on was done with smoke and mirrors. Some guys played above their expectations and any level. Can you expect that to happen again? I don't think so, but I think with the additions that we've made, the depth that we have, if we can ever, I would love to see Sean Lee play a full season.
So would he.
and coming
Yeah.
back healthy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Brady, what do you think about this season coming?
It's going to be really interesting. I'm thrilled to be a media guy right now because I love a team that thinks it's good. Romo said very quietly as he left the stage the other night, we're going to the Super Bowl. I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem with that. At some point, and you know this way better than I do, and so do you, when you are good, take on the responsibility of being good. There's nothing wrong with saying we're good. We're going to win games. I tell you what,
That
Seattle comes to every
yes.
game telling the other team they're going to win the game.
Yes.
And I don't have any problem with that. There is also some risk here. The Hardy thing's a risk. Bringing LaRon McClain back is a risk in itself. The Des Bryant thing, he no longer has the support staff, so he's now a risk. Plus, he wants to get paid. Orlando Skadrick hasn't done any offseason workouts because he wants to get paid. And then you drafted Randy Gregory to go on top of it. So you're going for it.
Yeah.
And you are really putting this organization and this coaching staff to the test, and I actually think it'll work out great.
All right, way to break it down.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great. Yeah.
Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually like their chances this year as well. I really do. I think that, you know, in this NFL today, the Cowboys have to win the NFC East. They have to win the NFC East. So at the end of the day, you look at the NFC East, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, Giants, you look at the Washington Redskins, and I like the way they stack against these NFC East opponents. Now, realize it's been a number of years since an NFC East champ has repeated, okay? So it's not an easy task at all. It's not an easy task at all. But I look at the quarterback situation for all three of those teams. You know, I look at just the offensive line situation, Philadelphia specifically. I thought they made a huge error in not drafting any offensive linemen in this draft. I was very surprised about that. So I really like the way they stack up against the NFC East, and I think they're going to have a great year.
Right on. Larry, you know what it takes to win a Super Bowl championship. You won one yourself with New England.
Right.
And do you think this team has what it takes?
Obviously, they had a great season last year. I think they exceeded most people's expectations and played great. If they can build on that or start there, then they're in good shape. Now, they did have DeMarco Murray, the leading rusher in the league last year, and I think that was a big key to the success of the team. And it's interesting that this whole conversation has kind of gone back toward the running game. The reason why I say that is I think if you look at what they've done all offseason, they've pushed all of their chips toward the defensive side of the ball, putting a lot of pressure on the offensive line, who's played great. So they're putting the pressure on the offensive line to do the offensive part. And Romo, of course, and his supporting cast. And this defense, they're beefing it up. They're trying to build a championship team, obviously, and it shows with the moves that they're making.
Yeah, I agree. I think the key is to win that NFC East and then, you know, take it from there, dominate that. You know, let's win that back-to-back and keep it rolling. I think the experience they'll bring now, this time around, into the playoffs will pay off for these guys. A lot of the young guys never even experienced a playoff situation, but now they have that under their belt. And I think they're falling in line as far as this Jason Garrett process is concerned. They're listening to him. Great. I think he's got all those players out of there, like DeMarcus Ware. God bless him, great player, great Cowboy. But they're older guys, and they are all set in their ways. They've been through other coaches, and you know, so now you got young guys in here, and they listen to Garrett. They believe in what he's saying, and he has that command. And Jerry's given him enough rope to let these players know that he's the one. You know, you don't say no to me, then go to Jerry and try to work something else out. You know, they know that buck stops with Jason Garrett, and I think that makes a big difference with this football team.
You know, one quick point. You talked about the running back situation, and Jerry saying, you know, really anybody can run behind this offensive line. I almost wonder if they truly believe that, because I mean, they didn't sign any undrafted free agents. They're not bringing any undrafted free agents in as far as running backs are concerned, but they're bringing in 5 wide receivers.
Yeah.
5 wide receivers. So I mean, it's pretty interesting. We'll have to see what happens.
Again, you have to understand that, you know, before the final roster gets complete, there'll be some changes.
A lot of
So
roster
you have to
changes.
take all of that into account.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll take a long, hard look at it based on what they have at their
One
disposal.
thing for sure, I know, guys, and thank you all for being here, offering some
Pleasure.
great insight and information. one thing for sure, we're still in this no football hangover. We want some football, man. Let's get it on. All right.
Hey, Drew, do you mind if I let them know? If you're watching us on Saturday, as soon as this show's over, Everson and I, DFW Sports Beat Next, doing our own version of breaking down this entire draft. So just stay right here on KTXD, please, and watch us Saturday morning.
Right here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me,
Channel 14, mate. Larry Centers, Matt Thornton, Brady Tinker, and the great Doc, we thank you all for being here. This concludes our first ever Drew Pearson Live Cowboys Draft Special. I'd like to thank you all again for being here. Also, a big thanks to Greg Johnson from Night of the Superstars. Don't forget to visit nightofthesuperstars.org to find out how you can help. Also, Brady's show, DFW Sports Beat, is coming up in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. And we'll see you next week for another edition of Drew Pearson Live, right here on Channel 47. Everybody give me a hug. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hug. All right.